Okay, today is February 16th, 2023, our regular annual general meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Pardon me?
Monthly, annual.
Did I say annual? Oh, sorry, monthly.
Monthly annual.
Monthly meeting. Motion to adopt January 19th, 2022 council meeting agenda.
Minutes.
Minutes.
Yeah. I'll move to be adopted.
Okay, moved by Councillor Barrett,
Second.
second by Councillor Derrick. House, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion to adopt January 3rd, 2023 fire department minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor House, second by Councillor McGrath. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 4 on the agenda, motion to adopt February 16th, 2023 council meeting agenda. Moved by Councillor Barrett, second by Councillor McGrath. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. We're going to deal with financial now, so I'll turn it over to one of our finance committee members.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the invoices for January in the amount of $99,023.57. And a slight explanation, the reason for the high end one is because we paid the swimming pool one. And we paid the stadium.
Okay.
And we made a donation to the food bank on top of that. So that's part of the reason why it's so high for this month. Anyway, the motion is to approve it in the amount of $99,000.
Okay, you heard the motion brought forward by Councillor Barrett, second by Councillor Derrick House. Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under new business, search and rescue is requesting $8,000 for funding of their search and rescue organization. We had some previous discussion on it. We do, as a council now, pay their insurance annually. 8,000 is a lot of money, but I'm sure we can find something. But I need a motion to be brought forward by someone if we're going to choose to do so.
So moved. Moved for donation to the search and rescue for $8,000.
For the full 8,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Seconder? No seconder?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Councillor Barrett. Any further discussion?
I thought it was discussed that we'd make a total of 10,000. That would be the donation plus the insurance.
Yeah, that would be this 8,000 plus it, because their insurance is about
Well,
2,000.
It was closer to 3.
Almost 2,800.
2,800.
Yeah, so we were only gonna give them 72, I think it was.
Yeah.
We had to kind of,
That was part of what that,
Okay.
why the expenses were so high in January, because we did pay that insurance.
Okay.
for them.
So you want to make
2,800?
a total of $10,000.
so yes.
Okay, so whatever that amount would be, what?
Yeah, okay, well,
72.
I move an amendment to the motion
Okay,
for a donation of 7,200.
Yeah.
okay.
I'll
All right.
second that.
Second.
Second again. So any further discussion on it? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Code of conduct officials. Get a motion. Forward on that?
I make a motion that we adopt the code of conduct for officials, town of Kippens, as outlined in the document originally supplied by, I think it was Municipal Affairs.
Okay, so you heard the motion is read by Councillor Barrett. Seconder? Or Councillor House, sorry, my apologies. Second by Councillor McGrath. Any further discussion?
Just, I know that everybody had an opportunity to comment on that one. Councillor Nippert had sent out the document to everybody.
Yeah.
And asked for input, and everybody, I think, was fine with the document. and it was as per the template that was sent out by Municipal Affairs.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3, under new business. Need a
I
motion
make a
for,
motion that we accept the code of conduct for common councilors as presented by the Department of Municipal Affairs.
and a motion was read by Councillor Barrett, second by Deputy Mayor House. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under permits, we have a request to approve permit in principle for the McCarthy Lane subdivision. That's what I'm wondering, where it's not in principle, where it's been discussed and approved or pending approval, but so it would just be a request to approve the permit for the McCarthy Lane subdivision. So do we have a motion to do so?
So moved.
Okay,
So second.
motion was moved by Councillor House, second by Councillor Barrett. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Under additional business, we have, as you can see, we're all wearing pink.
Yeah,
Tonight.
some of us reluctant.
Some reluctantly, but it's in regards to violence prevention and being aware of it and to stand up for it, stand up and speak up. And that's the reason we all have these T-shirts on tonight, to show our support as a council and as a community. We took some pictures and I'm sure we'll have those posted on our Facebook page. So the community can see that we're aware and that we're certainly supporting it. So I'll start with my left here for committee reports and start with Deputy Mayor House.
I've got a couple of committee reports actually from Councillor Nippert
Okay,
that he asked me to read. So I'll read these and I'll have Josie enter them.
Yep.
First one is from the Recreation Committee. And Eric has indicated that he was approached and asked to attend the Kippens Rec Committee meeting on Sunday, February the 12th, 2023. He says his attendance was purely observational and he didn't officially participate as a councillor in the meeting. He's pleased to note that the Kippens Rec Committee, chaired by Ms. Rosie Forsey, is again active in the town and is underway taking some steps for planning to host the Kippens Winter Carnival from March 2nd to March the 4th of this year.
3rd to the 5th, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It must have been the dates that he was given. He's got 2nd to the 4th on his report. I stand to be corrected.
well, that can be corrected, if so, yes.
They have many of the preparations completed and they have an extensive itinerary planned, all of which is free for residents with the purchase of a carnival button. The committee will pass along information as the planning progresses for that. And they did indicate that they're seeking volunteers to help run some of the events. So in case anybody has some time or knows of somebody with some time, I think they're looking for some volunteers as well.
Okay.
And that's the report that he gave me from the Recreation Committee. Another one now, Paula, you may be able to add, this is from the HR Committee.
Okay,
So I'll read this and if there's anything you want to add to that. He's indicated the Human Resources Committee is currently completing 2 searches for employees for the town of the Kippens. We're currently seeking a chief administrative officer and a town clerk for the town here. Job descriptions have been posted to the job bank as well as Indeed.com. And he's pleased to report that there's been considerable interest in both positions. And according to him, there's been well-credentialed candidates applying for both positions. At the point that he gave me this, he indicated that they had 9 applications for the CAO position and 7 for the town clerk position. Both advertisements close on February the 28th. And we will be shortlisting for each position shortly thereafter with interviews to take place in early March And he says that he remains optimistic that we'll be successful in doing some hiring after that.
Yeah.
Now, I think, there's a link on the town's, Facebook page there,
No, they're
or
town
on the
website.
town website, to both of the positions. So if anybody was interested in looking at what was posted, that information was there. So that's the report that he gave me. I don't know if there's anything you
Well,
want.
the only thing I can add to that part is I had a call myself from a person that decided to apply, but he just wanted to call and let us know that they did apply. They went through the Indeed, at first they were having a bit of an issue there, but he called me back and said, no, it went through and everything was good, so. No, it is, yeah, we discussed it and, we have to get, people here in the office to, get in place and get things back on track the way they should be. Because we've been too long without a town manager and without a town CAO. As we all know, we're not here to manage or micromanage any of the departments, but just to liaison with our CAO and he deal with issues and, search for opportunities for the town. So we definitely have to get something in place. Okay, that it for you, Councillor, or Deputy Mayor House? Okay. Councillor McGrath?
Well, for January, there was no fires they responded to, but I went to the meeting on last Tuesday, and I guess they're gonna volunteer some guys are gonna be doing for a winter carnival to help with, I think, the snowshoe event.
Okay,
So, I guess the fire department will be doing certain volunteer for the winter carnival.
okay.
So that's about it for, I got the report this month.
Well, that's good that they're gonna volunteer to help out.
Yes.
Councillor House?
I think Councilor Earl's, got some minutes of a meeting we had with the, maintenance staff
Okay,
last week, so he's got a.
I don't know if you want to read them, it's 2 pages.
sure.
What we did, we met with, Hubert and Mortgage, our maintenance staff, to try to get a feel for what is required throughout the town. What are we going to be facing, say, in the next 12 months, basically? Where are we in terms of the water system, in terms of parks, fire hydrants, maintenance of roads, maintenance of trail system, and the type of equipment that we have over here. When does it need to be replaced? We had a good meeting with them, and they brought us up to date. And like you said, I don't know if you want this read in total.
Well, it's up to you, or you can break it down to.
It can be part of the minutes of the meeting,
Yes,
I assume.
yeah.
They identified that the most important thing that we need to stay on top of is our water system.
Okay.
And there are some requirements there that we're going to have a look at this spring. There's some pumps that need to be replaced. The main water tank itself needs to be cleaned out. And these are not expensive, not cheap operations because there's so few contractors that do that type of work. So I'm hoping that we can get something started on the water system maintenance as soon as the weather is appropriate to do so. We don't want to be shutting our water lines up right now and then they'll freeze up.
No, that's right.
Parks, there wasn't much to do with fire hydrants other than the marking of them. They mark the fire hydrants so they'll know where they are when they're covered in snow. And the markers they use, they're a miracle type of wood that grow feet and walk away. So you might go look for them, they're not there.
Good construction.
Good construction. The parks and playgrounds, we talked about a couple of things there. One was the dog park, which is not being utilized because of the type of ground cover that we have on there. And they suggested that we go back to using the old baseball or softball court as a dog park.
Well, if I may, Councillor Barrett, the material that's on top of the dog park now, the new one,
Yeah,
that's gonna be removed come spring.
I
Because,
thought that changed.
no, because the fire department needs that up at their training site.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought that the fire department already ordered some material.
No, they're gonna,
Didn't need this.
no, they're gonna need that. So
Yeah.
once they take that, then we're gonna just saw it or fertilize.
Yeah,
the-
okay.
Because we, I guess the town spent some money on the previous dog park, to put up a backstop to allow it to be again used as a ball field.
Yeah.
So that would have been a fair expense too, right?
Okay, well, we need to rectify the dog park, so it's, because we do have a lot of residents here that like to walk their dogs around.
Oh, definitely, yes, yeah.
And, so, and the playground, the issue with the playground was that, there were two issues really, sorry. One is that it's not handicap accessible, and there was nothing there. If you've got somebody who's in a wheelchair, there really is nothing in that park, the playground, sorry, that they can use. The other issue is that the ground cover is starting to get very, very thin and rocks are coming back up through it. And what they suggested was that we should really have a supply of this material on hand. It's a special crushed stone of some sort.
Pea stone, I think.
Yeah, pea gravel or pea
Yeah.
stone, that we should keep a supply on hand, and then they can keep it up to grade. And at the same time, we should look at making a portion of the playground handicap accessible.
Yeah, it came to the table when, I know it was when we were first sworn in as, when it was just four of us, I think, on council. And, I don't think anybody knew that we would have to go through as long a process to get staff in place, but it was felt that if we had staff here, a CAO, that they could go seek out some sources of funding, because I think the acting town manager / CAO at the time had indicated that there was some pretty extensive sources of funding available for handicap accessible playgrounds out there. So
Exactly.
it's certainly something that we would make a priority when we get
Almost
staff in
definitely.
place to do
It's
it.
not something that's gonna go to the wayside. It's just unfortunate right now at this time, we don't have anyone here that can sit down and go through all these programs and figure it out and get the things rolling. So, but it will be.
Yeah, I've been looking at some sources of funding that we could hopefully access to put some handicap accessible equipment over here in the
Yeah,
playground. So
Definitely, yeah.
once I get that together, I'll do up a separate report.
Okay.
Needs to be done, yeah.
The other item that you talked about was the trail system, the maintenance of the trail system. They claim that the equipment that we have, the Kubota, is too high to be able to get in through the trail system. Really should have had a Bobcat instead of the Kubota, because the Bobcat, being a lower machine, would allow them to access it and repair it and maintain it. So there hasn't been a lot of maintenance done on the trail system by the town staff. There is a gentleman that has been clearing deadfalls from the trail system, and apparently he's been told he can't do it any longer. I'm not sure of the rest of you. I've got no problem with somebody volunteering to maintain the trail system.
Well, I know who that gentleman is because I spoke to him and he told me the same thing, that he was told by a member of this office, who I don't know,
He didn't,
he
Was it
he didn't want to say.
member of council?
He didn't say, just a member of the office.
Okay.
I told him then, no, because he's been doing it forever. If there's any deadfalls, he goes in, he clears them up, he takes the wood for himself, which, no issue with it. He's taking his own time, his own equipment, his own gas, his own everything, to go in and do that. Bringing that forward now, since it's been brought up, I don't see any reason why he can't continue to do it. But as a gesture of our appreciation, I don't see any reason why at Scattertown, we can't give him a gift certificate for a bit of gas or something. He's in there taking his own time, his own machinery, and he's keeping it accessible. He even got I don't know what you call them, when you drag it behind your shingle in the winter, and he even does that so people can still walk it.
Paul,
So-
that might explain, we had a letter, I think, came to the council today expressing some concerns that a portion of our nature trail, especially the portion that goes beyond the, I guess, the dog park and the open field where community gardens there. And saying that the people who used to walk dogs and so on the trails in the winter in past years, kind of missed the fact that it was groomed somewhat. And at least the trail was beat down, so that might explain what happened there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anybody knew exactly what happened, but that might explain that as well.
Yeah, he used to groom it all the time. He'd go in and take the machine and run through it again.
They're missing it now.
Yeah.
So I got no issue with it, and if council's okay, I can have a conversation with him again, because he did approach me and explain the situation to him. But I got no issue with it.
And certainly if,
we got a
somebody's
member of the
grooming a trail,
community-
we have to provide, like you said, a gas card, every once in a while.
It's no big deal, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He's a member of the community and he's taking part, he's doing his part.
Yeah.
By, doing that and keeping it up, and other people are using it, so they're benefiting from it.
Yeah.
So I don't see any
I
issue.
don't know why anybody would have taken exception to
No,
it.
It would be in use, personal use, or is he selling it, or,
No, just takes it home for himself,
okay, well, then why, I don't
because
see.
he burns
no
wood
issue.
himself, right?
Yeah.
So he just takes it home, if, the deadfall comes down, now that's all he takes is the deadfalls,
Yeah.
anything that blows over,
Yes.
right? So
And,
he'll go in, he'll clean it up, and he'll take it home for himself.
And there's a lot of them that are around now. I noticed on some areas of the trail that I've accessed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of deadfalls, probably because nobody's been doing that.
So let's put him back to work, since he's volunteering.
Put them back to volunteering.
He get paid like us.
Yeah.
A t-shirt
Okay.
and what's allowed.
Well, after that, we talked about roads, and what road repairs are necessary. And they don't really have a feel for what's going to be necessary to do in terms of road repairs until after the spring thaw. The only one that they pointed out was, Beach Drive is in Birch
yeah.
Drive, sorry. I don't know why I keep calling that Beach Drive.
That's a big
Birch
shirt.
Drive is in very poor condition.
Okay.
And we as a council really should look at trying to get that one upgraded if we have the funds to do so. We then talked about all the equipment, town equipment, and we've got the two loaders. We got a Cat 936, which is, they call the small loader, and we have the Cat 950, which is the large loader. The 936 is 36 years old. Maybe that's why it's a 936. Next year it's gonna be a 937, I guess. But it needs to be replaced. It's not reliable any longer.
But what do they use the I thought they were only using the 936 for lower than sand.
That's right. That's
That's
all
all
they're
they're
using
using.
it for, because it's all it's capable of doing right now. That's what they were saying.
But the other one can do everything that that one can do plus more, but in the winter we have a plow on it,
It's
so.
hooked up to the plow all the time, yeah. And the 950, which is the larger one, is 12 years old. He'd say currently there are no problems with that machine.
We just spent a ton of money on.
Oh,
Shouldn't
yeah.
be, yeah.
Transmission, shouldn't be.
50,000, I look, man, yeah.
The Kubota,
Quick, expensive.
Kubota is only used for street sweeping. There seems to be. a
Not
waste
even,
of
not even for
machine.
that, because I think, the street sweeping attachment, gave them some problems.
They did, but they have
Yeah.
repaired that. So. it
So
can
the
be-
Kubota, it was not being used a lot. Right now, are we still paying for lawn care maintenance? Is that still contracted out?
It was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. There's been no change.
I don't know if there's been any contract yet for it.
Yeah, well, whatever
Yeah.
contracts do, maybe it is something we can look at to see if we can get some kind of, uh,
Attachment.
attachment for the Kubota for doing the lawns, and they can do the lawns instead of us having the contract of it.
That's
Take
certainly
the
worth
contract
considering.
for a certain number of years.
Yes, that's what I mean, once it's done and
Once
over,
it's-
way up.
Well, we'll have to look into that one.
Yeah.
They did say the Kubota, and I mentioned earlier, is too high for using on the trail system.
Trail, yeah.
And while it's now in decent condition, what they recommended was that we trade it in on a Bobcat, which is a more multi-use type of equipment than the Kubota itself.
Don't know that you could use one of those for mowing, though, not a Bobcat.
Okay?
I don't think you could use it for mowing. The Bobcat,
No,
but I'm not.
Not only attachments, yeah, I don't.
But on the trail, it was good,
you know,
the Bobcat is good on the trail if you have to carry something in there, if you're doing repairs. You need like sand and gravel, you put it in the Bobcat, in the bucket, you can carry it on the trail, but you can't do it on the power machine.
we're not making any recommendations.
No, this is what, yeah.
This was just a discussion to familiarize ourselves.
Certainly had
Once-
looked at more.
Yeah, once we get a CAO, we can delve into this a little deeper. The other two items that we discussed, one was tools for the garage. There are certain tools that they would like to see in the garage. They were there. They're kind of like those sticks we put up in the fire hydrants that grew feet and walked away. So they're no.
Not everybody has access to the garage.
Yeah, that's right. So they've given me a list. I've been going around town now pricing it. And maybe I can report something at the next meeting in terms of what the cost would be to replace some of those tools. And the last item to mention was winter gear. In the labor agreement, we give them an allowance of, I think it's $300 per year, for their own, clothing issues. I'm not sure how much winter gear you fellows are used to buying, but you can't get much today for $300. I mean, a decent pair of work boots is almost $300. And what they'd like to have, obviously, is they'd like to have this 3-season gear, so they can use it, winter, summer, spring, fall, they can use year round. I've been trying to get some prices on that, but,
Just a thought though, maybe when we get somebody in place here and they start looking at it, look at the pros and cons of a clothing allowance maybe increased versus actually supplying the gear, because I think the outlay and the cost to the town would be a lot more. And the ongoing maintenance for that, if we were involved in actually purchasing the gear, as opposed to providing a clothing allowance.
Yeah.
Just, I think we would need to investigate
Oh,
that.
definitely, yeah.
Just a thought.
that's for future considering. Now, one thing, I'm sorry, I forgot, when we were talking about equipment, if we are getting into replacing equipment, one item that they suggested that if that's the route we decide to go somewhere down the road, look at the difference between purchasing the outright and leasing it.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I don't know if that's been done in the past, if so, great, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but if it hasn't been done, it's certainly something.
Be worth looking at, and I mean, even seeing what other councils do.
Yeah, I think we always purchased here.
Yeah, I know they looked into leasing, not the last month before that. When they were gonna replace the 950, whatever it is, the one we have transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were looking into leasing,
Yeah.
but, I just, they ran out of time.
Times change, rates change, I mean, something that wasn't viable before, maybe now, or vice versa.
All for future consideration. Thank you,
Okay,
gentlemen.
thank you very much, appreciate it. Okay,
Derek, I don't know if you.
No, that's it, perfect. Thank you very much.
okay, that being said, take care of our committee reports, I have a motion to adjourn.
You have a next meeting date?
Next meeting will be March 19th, 16th, sorry.
March 16th.
Yep. 6:30 Newfoundland, 6 o'clock Labrador.
Yeah, second for the adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, second,
I saw 4 hands go up. That's a second or.
thank you.